Now, if you're just drinking like a damn gallon a day, just staying home, locking yourself in your room, showing up late for work, what yada yada, then it's a problem.
And
I
see,
feel you on that.
that's what I was saying. I was saying there is certain people in the world that honestly their addiction is needed. Like and probably not forever. And that's what I mean by there's a deeper issue there. But I'm pretty sure like once you resolve that issue is when you wake up and say, okay, this isn't my life. I have to stop. But like I was saying, like there is some people that cannot function and cannot have a social life and cannot have a family relationship
L-
without their
listen,
addiction.
listen. There's this clinic in Switzerland. This is real shit. Every day, heroin addicts go there twice a day and get their fix with clean needles and all that. They serve them clean heroin and clean needles twice a day, every day. And these people are regular people with jobs, families. Like they're not. How do I put it? They're not. They don't got a fucked up life. Like they do everything that a successful person does.
Yeah, but they still have a low key problem, even though they're functionable, in my opinion. Because there's some functioning
See, but
heroin
that's
addicts
just
like you would have never guessed that they enjoy
exactly.
doing
You,
that
you
type of
can't even
drug.
tell. But what are
Yeah,
you
but
saying? It's a problem, but that's just an opinion. It's a problem to you. You feel me? We in America, like we're given the right to chase liberty and happiness the way we see fit. And if that's how they see fit, that's their problem.
That's
okay,
what
you
I was
know what? I'm
saying.
gonna agree to that to a degree because you know what? The food
Right.
that a lot of people eat is really bad for us, and we know it, and yet we still choose to consume it, knowing that we could die early, have diabetes, or whatever the case might be.
Exactly.
So I see what you're saying with that.
See, that's what I was saying. There is certain addictions, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, if you really want to take the word addiction out of your life, I mean, you really got to moderate every aspect of your life
Mm.
because an addiction is like I'm saying, there's certain addictions that you need to function. There's just certain addictions that you have learned to function with better than your normal
You know,
self,
you
and
literally
like that's what
do
I'm
that.
saying. That becomes your new norm for you.
There are
But
some
like you were
people that
saying, it is your
literally,
opinion.
yeah, some people literally have been born or ended up having different wires crossed in their mind, and the only way they can
Hmm.
function normal in society is to take certain drugs.
Hmm.
So hearing y'all talk, y'all are kind of like making me realize a few things. Like, you're right, addiction might not be that bad of a thing, and if you can function and still support and do everything that you're supposed to do, I see that. So maybe I can start drinking more now. Let me stop.
I think in anything you do that's addicting form,
I don't know.
you gotta do it in a responsible way. You gotta
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
always think about the safety of yourself at least, right?
think about it. Think
Hmm.
about it. Like you're saying, okay, like
Okay.
if I partake in drinking alcohol every day, it's like that's detrimental to my health, right? But
Right.
we get in a car every day of our lives. Like you know how dangerous that is.
That's true.
All
But
Yeah.
this
then
fast food we eat, like
it's
that
gonna
could
be
be detrimental.
dangerous.
Also, all this processed sugar, like people don't really know. Like we intake drugs every day, whether it be sugar, caffeine, like all of that is drugs.
Hmm. Hmm.
Thank you.
But
Yeah, I
then
fully agree.
but then drinking and driving will be super dangerous, you know. So
Well, of course you got. Of course, that's just outright dumb.
right. So you go look. There's a lot that comes to it. You just can't say random things. Whereas like an addiction is an addiction, right? No matter how you want to look at it, you get your priorities straight. You're not supposed to be doing this to the point where you have to hide it. You know what I'm saying? I think
That's a problem too. If you gotta hide your behavior, I feel like that's a problem.
Oh yeah, definitely.
but that's what you're doing when you're keeping your priorities straight. You're hiding your behavior, right? You wait until everybody go to sleep and you get fucking blown out of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And then just because you think nobody sees you doesn't mean it's not happening. And let's just be honest, right? You drink
That's
a
not
lot,
everybody.
but you drink a lot, you're killing your kidneys. You smoking weed, you're hurting your lungs. You smoking cigarettes, you're getting cancer. So anything that is addicting, right? It's bad for you entirely.
Yeah, and food gives you diabetes. So I mean, we gotta eat.
You're fine.
But we also can eat in a moderate form, right? Because when we look at it, the reason why we get diabetes because we eat excessive, and
Right.
diabetes is, diabetes and obesity is one of the biggest leading killers of America. You feel me? People are
Mm-hmm.
dying more being fat than smoking cigarettes.
Right, and we know that, and we
That's true.
still eat, and we still pig out.
Why you think we like that?
Cause we're fucking like America is just our culture is just fucking like we're greedy, bro.
I think they did that on purpose. Like, think about it. If they didn't approve of everything that they put in the food for us as consumers to eat, we wouldn't probably have this big of a problem. But because the FDA, the US, whoever allowed it to pass through, we're all consuming it because we have the option to. It's in our aisles. We're driving by them. So why not? We don't
If
know
it's
it's too
FDA
bad for us.
approved,
We're
right?
thinking, yeah, we're thinking, okay, it's here, so it must have went through the regulations. It must be okay to eat. Like Nutella got sued like 2 decades ago or a decade ago because they were advertising how much healthier it was for you versus peanut butter. But come to find out, it was not healthier for you. Somebody sued because that was all they were giving their kid. Granted, that was excessive and they
It's
shouldn't have done that, but it wasn't healthy for you. So now they can't say that it's healthy for you because it's not, but they were getting away with it up until somebody called them out on it.
I think food. I think food has a lot of other layers to it. Like, the people want us to be addicted to certain food. I mean, they need us to be addicted to certain food because if we're not addicted to certain food, and it has to, if you don't consume it and people don't get sick, doctors don't have jobs, pharmacies don't can't make medication, research people can't exist. I mean, there's a lot to it. Like, this country wants you to have addictions. I mean, that's like if they can't get you
Of
to be
course,
addicted to a drug, they're gonna get you addicted to food. Then, I
that's how
mean,
they get their money. Like they get you
yeah,
hooked on these drugs. They all these drugs have side effects that require more medication. Like that's what they want.
So you saying that the U.S. has a marketing scheme to get y'all addicted to things?
of course,
Yeah,
they
all these
need that.
chemicals they put in processed foods are addictive, bro.
So
I
they
mean, people don't look at it because they look at it like, oh my God, it's FDA approved, so how bad can it be? But do you not understand that the bad guy is the FDA? I mean, they want you to be addicted to certain stuff so that, like I said, the world can function the way they need it to function, which is people getting sick from overeating processed foods, which means, that means they're going to hospitals, that means they're going to doctors. That means they're going to sue people, so
Yeah,
the court people get money. You know what I mean? Like, it's a system that just
bro,
it needs the world to be addicted to
it's a
something
billion
in
dollar
whatever way.
industry, bro.
Yeah,
Billion
yeah,
dollar industry,
definitely,
like
definitely. I think an addiction, the America culture needs you to be addicted to something. They don't care what it is, but they need you to be addicted to it. And food is the main one because, hello, everybody needs to eat. You can't live if you don't eat.
but why do we eat more than we have to?
yeah. I mean,
Because
that's a good
that's the
question. That's just
addiction.
our culture, bro. Like we eat way more than we have to.
We're like you said, we're greedy,
As fuck.
and
Somebody
we're
told me
greedy because
yesterday,
of the
like,
way we live.
I had a client yesterday. He's from India. He said he only ate one meal a day, and he felt like he was fine. You know, once he came to America and got like used to eating 3 meals a day, now he eats way more.
You feel like he's starving after he haven't ate his second meal.
Yeah, and over there, his country, he just ate 1 meal a day, and he said he lived a happy life.
It's like
Yeah, because that's what he got his body used to. That's what they were used to. That's
the
their normal
conditioning.
life. That's their
Yeah,
culture.
but our
And then
body is
our
an amazing
culture,
thing. Like,
right? And
we,
our culture is like, this is the country of the free. You're free here to do whatever you want. So because we're free to do whatever we want, and the limit is 3 meals, but since we're free to do whatever we want, why not have six? Over there, the limit is 1 meal a day, no exceptions. You know what I mean? So your mind doesn't even excel to think, hey, I'm hungry, because you already know that all you're doing is getting 1 meal a day. So that you train your brain to tell your brain this is enough. It suffices you. You're good. You don't need more than one meal a day. But here, just knowing that you have the freedom to eat 6, 7 meals, why not? You know, and that's when addiction kicks in. You're addicted to eating more than 3 meals a day.
That's it's kind of crazy, man. Because again, right? We don't consider addiction because we're not doing the worst thing we could be possibly doing, right? Like, at least I'm not addicted to the meth. At least I'm not addicted to crack. Your mic is kind of breaking off. You
Right.
said what?
I said right.
So it's kind of hard to say that we addicted to anything when it's not really bothering nobody, right? But we
Mm-hmm.
also got to look at it's hurting our body, right? Like when, like I said, when you smoke, even if you know it, right? I think the key is to moderate everything.
Yeah. What I
I
said.
don't think it's
I
wrong if
said
you.
that if you don't,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Oh, I'm saying like that's what I was saying. Like, I don't. If you don't want to have that word addiction applied to you in your life in any kind of way, then you have to learn to moderate every aspect of your life. There has to be the same kind of energy that you put into on everything in your life. It can't just be more energy on one thing or more energy on the other thing, or like more focus on one thing or more focus on the other. It's like if you don't want the word addiction to exist in your life, you have to moderate everything: eating, sleeping, talking, praying, whatever, whatever you do. It's everything has to be at a moderate place.
Do you think there's like a time span of addiction? Like you could say, I only been doing this for 2 days. Is that something?
No, I don't think that.
Like,
I
can
don't
you
think
be
that when.
addicted the first time you do it?
Oh yeah, yep, I think so.
Do y'all know anybody who has an addiction?
I've met a person who had.
And has like, do you know anyone that has like died because of the addiction?
No, I have not.
I had this one friend. We always smoked weed. That's what we did. We smoked bud all the time. And after I left, I'm thinking everybody goes to sleep, wake up the next day and want to smoke more bud. But little did I know, the guy was doing more than bud. And I remember we used to chill all the time. Like, and this we were young. You know what I'm saying? We had no responsibility. We had no priorities. We were young. And I remember I was in his house. I would smoke. I would leave. He had a TV. He had a couch. He had everything. Next day I'll come back. The couch is gone. Next day I'll come back. The kitchen table will be gone. And it was crazy because, like, back in the days, you wouldn't even see that. Like, oh, shit, your shit's missing. You're just like, shit, we got more stuff, And eventually, uh, I was thinking, like, you're not doing all, like, you're selling all your stuff, but this is not for weed. And little did I know, he had died a week later of an overdose on heroin. And it kind of fucked me up because, I was hanging out with this guy all the time. And it's just like, you can never tell when someone's addicted, you feel me? Especially when you're doing some similar things that get you out of the element, you're not really paying attention. And it kind of sucked because, well, it didn't suck. It was tragic, it's terrible when it's like, wow, like, I didn't know this what you was going through. And it's like, why would you want to be that high? I don't know, man. It really fucked me up for a while because I was hanging out with this person all the time and never had a clue, like, addiction is, I don't know, it's crazy how you can hide it and, no one can never know what you're doing behind closed doors.
Yeah, I think that's real scary when a person has a very dark addiction, and can mask it so well that you'll just never see it coming.
Now, what do y'all think about people enabling other people's addiction? Do you think that weighs factor to someone's life?
I feel like you can enable a person in many different ways,
Mm.
and it's hard to love someone and you think that you're doing the best for them, and the best that you're doing is actually hurting them,
It's like
but you still enable it though.
it's like having a friend, right? You have a friend that does his thing all the time, and you just never really acknowledge it. Do you think that's like in a way you're enabling it,
You should definitely say something if you consider yourself their friend.
but you're not trying to be their dad? You know what I'm saying? You like, you do what you do. You
I
know.
mean, yeah, you do what you do at the end of the day, but if I'm your friend, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it, especially if I feel like it's got a negative effect on you.
How
Yeah,
f-
definitely bring it up.
how far would you go to help your friend? Like, would you stop being friends with this person because he won't stop?
I don't think that's ever a good idea. I feel like that makes them wanna, do that more.
I don't think you should stop being friends with the person. I just feel like, if you have brought up the issue and you have expressed your feelings on it and let that person know, like, hey, I'm here for you. Let's do something to change it. And that person is like, okay. And then at the end, is still doing what they want. At some point, you do have to learn to distance yourself from that person because you don't want to fall into something that you know in your heart it's not okay. Like, that's why you're even bringing the issue up. Like, it's not okay what you're doing. I'm letting you know that you're being too crazy with it. You're actually addicted to it. And I don't want to fall into that. So I'm calling you out on it. And if you don't want to change, then I'm going to have to distance myself from you. I won't stop being your friend. I'll always be here for you, but I will distance myself from you until you can find the help that you need that helps you.
So, what do you think would be worse? The person ODing while you being friends with them, or they ODing after you stop being friends with them?
After you stop being friends with them.
You be
Yeah, I
you,
definitely think it hurts more after.
you feel like that would be your like, because you gotta understand that being friends with somebody that after you tell them, yo, what you're doing is fucking up your life. What you're doing is ruining your chances to, like, be who you want to be in life. And you're like, okay, cool, thank you for letting me know, but they continue to do the stuff. So you being friends with them, it's like accepting the behavior of their addiction, and how like how would you feel because you are friends with this person ODs, like, I think, in my personal opinion, right, it would hurt me more being friends with you knowing that I couldn't help you than leaving you, and then something happens to you, you was alone. uh,
That's true. I actually did think about that because that is true. It kind of sucks to like
like you're
that's the point that I kind of wanted to get to too. That's why I said if you have called it out and addressed the issue and you've told this person, hey, I'm here for you, and you've tried and they still do what they do, and then you have to distance yourself from them because you don't want to fall into something. I feel like you
it's not
have
even
done
falling into
everything in your
something,
power.
but just imagine you going partying with this person, right, and y'all wake up the next day and he's dead.
Yeah, that's scary.
You get what I'm speaking?
Yeah. It's definitely dark, but shit, that ain't your fault.
Exactly.
But you're
It's not your fault.
enabling it in a way, you know what I'm saying? Because you're still giving him hope that no matter what he's doing, you're going to be there for that person, right? And the thing is that you never know when your time will come. It might be that one funky pill that you take, or that funky crack, or weed laced up with some coke, right? Just to fuck that one bump on the nose to fuck you up. And I think it would suck, right, for me as a friend, as a human being, that you putting me through this. That I'm the one thinking about your safety. I'm the one thinking about your life, and you don't
So,
care.
so then again, it does come down to like it does kind of hurt more after the fact because you know that you've done everything you can, and that person still, passed away. Still, even though doing what you could, even though trying to do everything in your power and getting them the help they need wasn't enough. I actually, it does come down to it hurting more after the fact because you know when you have a friend and you don't know about the addiction and they die, and yes, you are left with the thought like, damn, why couldn't you come to me? But again, you didn't even know what was going on. They masked it so well that you just thought everything was fine, everything was
Right.
normal, versus knowing someone that's close to your friend, and you know about this addiction and you address the issue, you do what you can for this person, and they still die. It's like it hurts because no matter what I try to do for you, it wasn't enough. And I loved you so much that, like you said, you all you thought about was helping this person. All
Right.
you thought about was like, I need to focus on this person. This person needs to be saved. Like, you know, that hurts. That hurts that you had to go through all those emotions and had to go through all those feelings.
That's what I'm
And at
saying.
the end, it
But
wasn't enough for that person and they still die. So, again, it does actually hurt more at
being a
the end.
friend or after being friends with them.
Like, like being friends with them and then stop being friends with them, it does hurt after you stop being friends with them because, like I said, you invested so much time and emotion into
Cause
it.
you're leaving them in the worst state that they are right now.
Yeah, right. You know that, like, you're realizing yourself, it doesn't matter what I do for this person, it's not working. So how worse is it going to be when I actually leave? Because now they're going to deal with the fact that I'm not going to talk to them anymore. I'm not going to be in their corner all the time like they want me to.
Sometimes,
So yeah.
sometimes you think that will make them come to their senses. Like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave if you don't
Hmm.
tighten up. It's not
I
even
mean,
about.
that's the reason of the other person. That's the reason. That's the thoughts that the other person goes through. But the addict doesn't go through that. The addict goes, I'm abandoned. This person was in my corner. Now they left me. I have nobody to count on. I can't, like, then and then they go and they excessively do what they already do, and then they die. So it hurts because
Or
you,
what? It
like
doesn't
you said, you
necessarily
left
be
them in the
dead, but
worst state,
bad things happen once you leave a drug
or
addict
whatever
alone.
the case might
Yeah,
be. Whatever the case might be, it does hurt because, like you said, you are leaving them in the worst state. But in your mind, it's not like I know I'm leaving you in your worst state, but it's like a wake up call for you.
it's like
But for
hopefully,
them,
but
it's not a wake up
the
call.
thing is, how fucked up would you be after your friend dies? Like I think about it like, damn,
Yeah,
imagine, right? Like imagine you having your
definitely.
friend sleep over and you don't know he has a drug addict, cocaine, whatever the case is, right? You don't know he got this
Yes.
problem. We
Hmm.
drinking, he passes out, you think it's normal, the next day he doesn't wake up. You know how like traumatic that would be for somebody to see your own
Oh
friend
yeah.
dead. And
Hmm.
not only, and I put it in a scenario that you don't know. Imagine you knowing, right? Like fuck, I literally killed this guy because I could have fucking threw all his drugs every time he fucking had them. I could have snatched them. See, like I can't put a story behind this. I remember that my cousin, he got in a car accident due to how he was, in the state of mind he was in. And I don't like to think about it, but when I do, I like to blame myself because I knew he was in that state of mind. I knew he shouldn't be driving. I knew I should have knocked him out. I knew I should have done something, right? And if he would have died, I was like, damn, like why? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't I do something? So it's like
Hmm.
sometimes I like to separate myself so I don't have that responsibility. It's not
Hmm.
fair that you want to do what you want to do, but I gotta be responsible for your stupid actions, and that could have cost your death. So it's just
Hmm.
like in my mind, right? I don't want to be responsible for that. I feel like I will be
Yeah.
responsible because I could have, like I said, like sometimes, yeah, of course, right? You don't want to go take somebody's vape pen and just break it in front of them. You're gonna be so mad. You know what I'm
They
saying?
probably stop talking to you.
They'll beat you up. Something will happen.
Yeah.
Go ahead and an alcoholic, right? Go throw his 12 cases of beer on the fucking sink.
He gonna whoop your ass.
Matter of fact, throw the Henny down down the sink. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? So it becomes, it's taking care of somebody who has an addiction. It's a responsibility on its own. It's not even no more. Hey, I'm doing this and I'm looking out. I'm responsible for you. You're like a child.
Mhm.
I got to tell you not to do this and don't sell your stuff. And I think that's just not my lane to help people in an extent where it's like, man, if you don't want to stop, man, then kill yourself, bro. But not with me around.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks. I don't think it's fair for the other people. You hurting so many people, but besides yourself, you hurting your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, your siblings. Anything that is related, you're hurting them too. And I don't think it's fair. But that's when I say I think an addiction is a disease. It's a disease that you develop like the cold. And sometimes it's hard to shake off. And you
Definitely.
got to be well taken care of when you're trying to remove an addiction, and it's not the easiest thing to do. And honestly, it's like a bittersweet thing because you can sympathize and empathize with them, but at the same time, it's like you can't negotiate with them.
Yeah.
You can't bargain with them. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like, hey, you stop doing this, and no, life continues, and a lot of things don't change when you stop doing something. So why stop doing something that makes you feel good? But I'm not an expert, so I don't know. That's just my opinion. But we hit the hour mark, so if y'all don't have any side comments y'all want to say, then I'm just gonna conclude the podcast.
Yeah.
And look, honestly, if you have an addiction out there, look for help.
Definitely.
It's not one of the easiest things, right? It's not like something you would like to say to somebody, be like, look, bro, I'm doing this, or look, yo, I'm doing this. But look for help. Find somebody, a sponsor that wants to be responsible, because it's really hard to have an addiction and just live life. I think about it all the time sometimes with the weed, right? It's like,
What, baby?
you gonna say something, Langy? Okay. So it's hard to just live in life on its own, and when you find something you like, it's hard not to get addicted to it. That's my opinion. It's hard not to be happy.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear Lengy? Lengy was saying something.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
No, I was saying because you said we reached the hour mark. I was just saying it's been a pleasure. We should do this often.
Yeah.
I feel like this is this is kind of like healthy for us. We can vent and talk about stuff. It's healthy exercise. I feel like
For
it's kind of
sure,
like
for sure.
therapy.
Now, I think these type of conversations. I think that's the point, right? To elaborate more on the problem and kind of like hear each other out in different ways and not kind of judge each other in this moment. So
Right.
Facts.
it's definitely very healthy. And I appreciate y'all pulling up to the stream, man. Honestly, this is one of the things that I had a hard time coming up with, but I feel like it went very well, and I'm glad y'all enjoyed it, and hopefully we do more.
Definitely. I absolutely enjoy the whole entire conversation, and I'm definitely down for the next.
All right.
For shit show. I'm out.
Everybody have a good night.
Peace out.